Hello and welcome back to Warframe. My name's Todd, also known as Magi Mech, and this is of course Warframe. Last time we finished off Once Awake, the quest, and we started up Howl of the Kubrow, and we will continue it through this part. You might have known our colors changed again, just a little minor changes to give our look a little bit of variance. Alright, so let's just head straight into it. We are going to go straight into doing more for Howl of the Kubrow and trying to get those Kubrow eggs. Oh, it looks like we get a squad for this one. Good. Hopefully they don't run through it too quickly, but I think we'll be okay. That guy's got a nice ship. That's one of the other ships that you can get aside from the Lisette, which is the starting ship. I think that's the Mantis ship. Not too many differences when it comes down to it. Oh, we've got a big amount of lag here.
There's a large platoon
criminies.
stationed here. Leave no one standing.
That was a lot of slowdown right there. I'm not sure what caused that. Getting a good amount of it overall. So our main focus is to find the Kubrow dens and get a Kubrow egg, if possible. So we're not really worried too much about the actual main objective of killing the enemies here. Just want to destroy this Kubrow den, pop it, get our egg, and now we're good to go. So Kubrow eggs are special because you can only hold one of them. You can collect them at any time from Earth if you lose it or use it. And Kubrow eggs are also the only item, of course, that allows you to breed a Kubrow. So if you don't already have one, it's extremely useful to grab one to breed another Kubrow if you've not got one at the current time.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
Of course, you can't really worry about that until you've done the Howl of the Kubrow quest, so you kind of already get an introduction to how to do all that stuff. Thankfully our buddies here are just flying through this stuff, so I don't even really have to worry about too much challenge. I wonder what was causing that slowdown earlier. I'm going to have to look into that. My computer has now been upgraded, so it shouldn't be having any issues with this and recording whatsoever. I'm just kind of confused overall, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I don't see any reason to. Alright, we are doing just fine here. Killing a bunch of extremists, moving our way through. Let's see.
The enemy is broken.
Alright,
well
we're all done.
Now get to extraction.
I'm not going to worry too much about our allies. They'll be along shortly. Let's see. I don't know if that guy... Yeah, that guy looks like he earned all that legitimately. Let's see. Best way to tell is their mastery level. A low mastery level player with a really good gear often bought it with platinum. But not always. Not always. But it's just kind of a good indication of the good players, or the players that actually get stuff legitimately, not good players. Mastery has nothing to do with how good you are at the actual game. Just how much time you spent playing.
You found a Kubrow egg. Ordis will guide you through the hatching process. When complete, you will have to wait until the Kubrow matures before you can take it on any missions.
To think it's been ages since a Kubrow spread filth all graced this ship. Operator, drop the egg into the system to begin breeding. Drop it on the floor.
So of course, Ordis, with his distaste for Kubrows, does not want us to deal with this, but sadly, because we need an incubator power core, we cannot breed our first Kubrow yet, and it will probably be a while before we can get one of those. You can find incubator power cores under miscellaneous. Well, you used to be able to. Ordis, hello. Let's see, it's here. I don't have any power core for it. Maybe I have to buy that from the market. It's been such a long time since I've done this quest, so let's take a look. So we will go to Companions and Incubator Power Core. There we go. So to purchase the blueprint for the Incubator Power Core, would require 50,000 credits. It's a reusable blueprint, which means we could use it as many times as we want, but we'd also require tons of nanospores, which we don't have, a ton of credits, which we don't have, a ton of control modules, again, don't have, and an argon crystal, which we also don't have. So there's a lot of things stopping us from finishing Howl of the Kubrow, and we probably won't finish it anytime soon. This is the sort of quest that you have to get into the void to get things like control modules and crystals and argon crystals. So the first time we'll be able to get into the void, this area here, will be from Phobos. So if we can complete Mars, complete Phobos, or complete the Mars junction and then go over to Phobos, we can then go from Phobos over to the void, which will allow us to start getting the materials required for Howl of the Kubrow. But we don't have that ability right now. Let's see. Oh, there is a invasion. So I've never shown off these. I could talk about these right here. Yeah, let's just talk about it. I'm not going to do the invasion just because I'll save that for another time. We want to focus on getting the junctions done so we can get the quests done and get other quests and whatnot. But effectively, invasions are missions that if you do repeatedly, specifically 3 times, if you complete an invasion, so you can see if we click it and then infested outbreak, it will pull up this screen. If you do the invasion for the Corpus 3 times, whatever quest it has you do, you will get 3 Fielderon. Now, Fielderon is a specific type of material used for crafting weapons, warframes, and other things. And you can only get it from Corpus invasions, I believe. Not 100% positive on that, but there's tons of different items you can get from invasions, specifically things like Fielderon and I think Detonite Injectors are the main ones, plus I think there's also mutagen masses. So if you're not sure where to get those, you get all those resources from invasions. And you can get fully built ones, which is much quicker than trying to build them yourself. This screen also shows off construction status of the Fomorian, which is another type of invasion, and the Razorback Armada, which again, another type of invasion. I will talk about those if they occur when we're able to do them. But in the meantime, we want to work towards completing the Mars Junction, which means we have to complete Suse on Mercury. So we'll just jump straight into the next mission. And sadly, we will not complete Howl of the Kubrow until we're able to get into the void, so it'll be a while. It's one of those things that I really don't like it because they tease you with it so much, and then you really can't do anything with it.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
We can do an elimination very easily. Now, I could talk about what they refer to as taxiing players here. Yeah, that's probably a worthwhile thing to do. So there was that higher level, not necessarily higher level, but higher mastery player who more than likely had completed most of the star map. If we ask a higher, higher rank player or anyone really who's completed the star map to take us to a mission, we can actually be taken into missions that we haven't even unlocked yet. This is referred to in Warframe anyway as taxiing. And it's quite beneficial if you really wanted to bypass certain parts of the star map because you just haven't unlocked junctions or done any of the requirements for getting past them just yet. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to go through it standard. But if you really want to complete Howl of the Kubrow right away as fast as possible, you can ask a player, if you know anyone who's completed the star map, to taxi you over to the void so you can get some of the components required. And I think you can get nanospores, the other material from one of the other planets. Like I think Neptune has some, or maybe it's Uranus. I'm not sure. One of those planets, I believe, has some nanospores which you can start collecting. But we're not going to worry about it. And honestly, I wouldn't bother with it when you're just starting out either, because it kind of breaks the flow of how Warframe's set up. And in the old days, it was pretty useful to have because Warframe wasn't set up super good, but honestly, in today's Warframe, you really don't need it. The progression system is set up just fine for getting around easily and completing the game in like a linear fashion. So yeah, that's a whole thing. Let's see. So just completing this, killing some dudes. I'm not sure if we've encountered those guys before. Those guys are referred to as flame blades. An annoying enemy. Wow. Heavy gunner, leech extremist. Let's shock that one so we don't have to deal with. Man, just so much HP. The heavier units with extremists that are extremists are just ridiculous. In later parts of the game, they will do a ridiculous amount of damage to you and have just crazy amounts of life. But those flame blade guys, not sure if we've encountered them before. They teleport on top of you and will attempt to melee you. Overall, not super threatening, but if you don't have a lot of HP, their melee attacks do a good amount of damage, so don't let them surprise you. Catch you with your pants down, that is, or more specifically your shields. Overall, not super difficult. I know I've talked about those sensor bars before and the laser gates that they create, so I'm not going to worry about that. Oh boy. So this effect here, I think I've talked about it before. I don't know if I've told how to counter it though. Any sort of effect, just like that heavy gunner's knockdown effect there, that can knock you down. If you know it's coming and you roll, so you tap shift for me anyway, which would be the roll, you can avoid any sort of knockdown effect because you have a brief window of invulnerability. You're not invulnerable to damage, but you're invulnerable to status effects.
You've been locked out. Let's override the security.
So knockdown can be countered through just rolling. Very good to know. I'm not certain if it affects things like you being on fire, though it'd be pretty funny if it did. We're just gonna get rid of this lockdown though, so keep going.
Breach complete. We're free to proceed.
Let's see. I'm hoping in this episode or the next we'll be able to complete the rest of the missions required, and then complete the junction for
well done.
Mars.
Now get to extraction.
Hopefully it won't take us too much time at all. You know what, I don't even need to worry about that guy. So yeah, the status effect there that I was hit with, the flame or the fire, I think you might be able to avoid it if I had rolled when he had hit me, or attempted to hit me, but you cannot get rid of it with rolling. The rolling just creates a window where you cannot be affected by certain effects, specifically knockdowns. So if you rolled into that Scorch's fire effect, for instance, it would not knock you down, you just roll through it. I don't see a lot of players taking advantage of that, so I just figured it'd be a good tip to have. It kind of saves you some slots later on if you want to not use some mods to negate knockdown effects. But if you have Rhino already, the Warframe we're working towards, then it doesn't even matter because he's pretty much immune to most status effects regardless. Moving on though, we got to do a rescue, 2 more missions. Let's see, how much time do we have left? We got enough time for 1 more mission, so I think I can be able to complete this mission. Next time we'll do the next 2 missions, which will get us toward, or the next 2 missions, which will be Leon and Suse, and that'll get us unlocking the Mars Junction, which we'll do at the end of the next episode, I'm pretty sure. In the meantime, we're going to have to skip and run through this as quick as possible.
Our intel suggests that our person of interest is in the vicinity. Search for the hostage and bring them home.
So, again, the big thing about Warframe is it's all about speed. The completion rewards are much better than the other rewards that you can get throughout a mission, usually. So, if you're just trying to get through missions as quick as possible, the best thing to do is just run past all the enemies and get through it. But you don't necessarily have to. I would recommend you at least practice this technique though, because a lot of players will get to the end game and they'll not understand the maps.
There's no telling what the captors are doing to our rescue target. You need to find the holding cell immediately.
A good knowledge of each of the maps, such as this area here, can sometimes be confusing if you've never been through them before. So learning how each map and each setup is kind of laid out will help you progress through these areas much quicker. Allowing you to finish missions at lightning speed.
Careful. If the Wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence.
Oh dear, I think I might have alerted a warden. Yep. That's unfortunate. We are going to
The
have
hostage is
to rush
almost
this
out
one.
of time. Hurry.
Let's see,
Here
where
are
are
the
you,
holding
hostage?
cells. Search each one for the hostage.
So once
I'm in
you've
your debt, Teddy.
activated
Let's
that
go
execution
Subject
sequence,
found. You need to bring the captive to safety.
you want to make
Protect them
sure
at all
to get in
costs.
here as soon as possible. There is an item which allows you to delay that
I can
countdown,
fight too. Give me a weapon.
which is the life support charge. If you have the Lisette chip, the life support charge will reset all hacked timers or hacked timers, which is pretty useful. If you
You've
haven't
been locked out.
done that
Let's
so
override the
far,
security.
definitely worth it to pick up some of the stuff required to get those charges. I think I'll take a quick second afterwards to show those off, or at least describe the item a little bit more. I can't really do it here while I'm in the mission trying to worry about all these enemies. Not effectively, anyway. Those items, though, the life support charges, effectively call down your ship to do something. It creates like a cool little effect where the ship you'll hear the noise anyway of the ship flying over. Not sure how feasible it is in space, but I'm not really worried about it. The big thing is the effect that it has. Each of the different ships kind of has a different life support charge effect, and because we shut off that other ship in the loading screen, it might even be more worth it to talk about it. Boy, that waypoint was really awkward there. Alright, so I'll talk real quick about life support charges and the different ships when we leave this mission, and then I'm going to kind of sign off, and we will worry about completing the other missions that we need to for the Mars Junction next time. Let's see. Alright, so we're actually progressing on our ranks pretty good. We might actually be able to rank up our stuff sooner rather than later. I'm still waiting to rank up our bows so we can start using the Boldor and actually be able to do some decent damage. So if you go into your foundry, you'll find the landing craft tab. In the landing craft tab is air support charges. You will not be able to craft air support charges until you get a landing craft foundry segment. You can get those by being a part of a clan. I'm not going to go into super in-depth into that sort of stuff, but in higher level play, know that those charges, if you have a Lisette ship equipped, which, let's see if we can't show off the ships. Equipment, landing craft. So, the different landing craft are the Lisette, which we already have, you get at standard, the Mantis, the Scimitar, and the Xiphos, or Xiphos? I'm not sure how you pronounce that exactly. I think I called the Xiphos the Mantis, but it's the Xiphos. Effectively, the Lisette resets all like hacked terminals. It disables alarm systems. It also resets, or pauses, not resets, but pauses cooldowns, such as the hostage timer and other timers, such as a failed attempt at a spy mission, for instance. It will stop the timer for those. So the Lisette, air support charge is very effective. Honestly, I really wouldn't suggest any of the others, but the others are just fine. The Mantis creates a med tower, which heals you. The Scimitar carpet bombs the area, which isn't super useful. Honestly, I'd say out of these three, I'd say that the Mantis is the most useful, but the Xiphos creates a sentry gun, which shoots enemies when you use the air support charge. All these different things are pretty useful, but getting a different ship early in the game is very, very difficult. Let's see, I don't know if we can... Do they have the landing craft foundry segment? Okay, so you can buy it from the market if you really have to, but I would not suggest that you can get it from a clan. So if you join a clan, they will more than likely have it already researched, and you can get it from them, which will allow you to create the air support charges, do all the cool stuff that I talked about. If you have any questions about that, the wiki is a great resource for more information. I'm just kind of showing things off as I encounter them. But until next time, when we complete the objectives for the Mars Junction... Oh! I should have silenced that alarm. Anyway, goodbye.